I hate this team. I hate it. Like 50 red snorting emojis hate it. This year's Eagles team, it's been a disgrace to this city, a disgrace to this fan base. And Charles Edward Kelly is unequivocally 100% responsible for it. Kirk Cousins tossed 4 touchdown passes under the Saturday night lights in Philly, leading the Redskins to a 38-24 win over the Birds. Jeremy Burton is here. I'm Adrian Fedke. This will not be a long show. We are a bit exhausted from all the drinking during Christmas weekend, and quite frankly, we don't really feel like talking about this team.
Oh, man, what is there to say? This Saturday night summed up our entire season. You got the biggest game of the year, division's on the line, a Redskins team that's bad on the road, prime time in Philly. Like, let's go. Like, maybe you think you'd get a little motivated for it. No. In every aspect of the game, we were atrocious. It looked like a preseason game. Undisciplined offensive line play, false starts left and right, holdings left and right, bad passes by Bradford, missed opportunities, the dropped balls, over a handful of drop balls, just getting blown out, giving up 38 points for the 4th time in the last 6 weeks or more. It's the epitome of the season. Chip, it is 100% on him. I've said it for a while. Everyone knows how I feel about him. I think he's outmatched. He needs some serious changes to do in this offseason if he wants to not have another year like this. We are a 6-9 team. We are what our record says we are. We stink.
We're awful, guys. We are a shit show. We are terrible. It's a terrible team. All right. So probably the thing that you should know most about this game, Jeremy and I, we watched it together. If you guys know me, I am one of the most positive people out there. I think positively over negatively all the time. And Jeremy, well, I told you, like, midway through the first quarter, maybe by the end of the first quarter, I was like, Eagles are not winning this game. We have no shot. We're not winning it. And you're just telling me to shut up. And I'm like, dude, I just don't see it.
Well, after how easy Jordan Reed made those first it was all happened maybe in the first quarter, maybe the first quarter and a half, but how easy Jordan Reed just torched the middle of the field. Our linebackers can't cover shit. And he's a big red zone presence anyway, but he had 2 touchdowns and almost 100 yards. I mean, he had 5 for 87 and 2 touchdowns just in the first quarter alone, I believe. And he ended up with 129 yards and the 2 touchdowns. But no, I mean, just the epitome of our season. Mediocre team, terrible showing. I'm sick and tired of Chip. He did at least take all the blame on himself. I mean, obviously. But I'm kind of anxious to see what Jeff Lurie's end of the season spiel is going to be to the fan base and what. Hey, Jeff. So how do you feel now about giving all the power to Chip? This is the worst season you had in 4 years. See what he has to say to that.
Oh man! But if you guys watched our preview show, I said, well, if we don't force any turnovers, if we don't generate any pressure on Kirk Cousins, we're not going to win this game. And you could tell very early on, Kirk had a clean pocket, no pressure whatsoever. He could have went to Zumba class, back there and wouldn't have been touched. I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, and then he played his ass off too. He was great out there. So but pre-show we said got to get pressure, got to force the turnovers because 4 of the last 6 games coming in, the Eagles forced less than 2 turnovers, and it happened again. And it's something that they haven't been doing for a while now. And it's if they don't get turnovers, they don't win. It's that simple. And they put up 38 points on us.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk's been one of the hottest quarterbacks in the NFL. 16 touchdowns to 2 picks his last 7 games. That's impressive. Did Billy Davis have a good game plan for him? No. Are we surprised? No. That's the first move that's got to be made. Billy Davis has to get canned. Also, I think we should have a kind of what the Sixers did. I agree with Adrian. We talked about this pre-show, is maybe bring an NFL mind to help chip out. Tom Gamble was there with Howie, but this is how that whole tip started. Tom Gamble is a well-known NFL man. How this whole tip started with, Chip Kelly getting all the power, and obviously that blew up in his face. And he's not evaluating high school kids anymore. He's evaluating men that are going into a professional football league, and he's just obviously got to do a better job. He's got to put his ego aside and turn this ship around, or else Chip's going to get run out of town real quick.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I wanted to talk about Sam Bradford for a second, because he's the one that really disappointed me in this game. Now, I realize, the Sam supporters, they've been kind of giving me shit a little bit for this. And, I get it. I get all the drops that happened in the game. I get all that. I get the poor offensive line play. I get all that. But you got to think about this realistically, guys. This is really only the second big game Sam Bradford has played in his career. First year, he played Seattle, Week 17, division on the line in a win or die, go home scenario type of game. He lost that game. Saturday night, it was the same kind of thing, and I was a little bit underwhelmed. I'm not going to lie, Sam missed like 3, 4, 5 throws that any quarterback could make, to be honest with you. Zach Ertz would probably still be running if he caught that ball. He was wide open. He'd probably be in San Francisco right now. So, I was in an argument at halftime with a dude that, thought that Sam was out playing Kirk. And I'm just like, nah, dude, we ain't watching the same game, man.
That was funny. I don't know who you were battling with on Twitter there, but that was entertaining. You can look at, we talked about this before, you can look at stats all you want. Oh, Sam Bradford threw for 380 yards and a touchdown. Oh, but he had to throw the ball 56 times to get those 380 yards. And with those 56 throws, he did have a handful of misses, and there were drops too. But, it's not all about, the final stats. It's you got to watch the whole game. And, Sam was, under a little pressure, and he didn't come through. But we were doomed from the start, like you said. After the first quarter, the defense, the offense couldn't keep up because our defense was just giving up points like almost every single drive. And the bonehead play by Kirk Cousins before the end of the half to not spike it and kick a field goal at the 5-yard line, he takes a knee with like 6 seconds left and they have no timeouts. Any other game that would have been close, that would have mattered, but didn't matter at all that they didn't get those 3 points. Didn't matter at all. Oh man, it's just an awful way to end our season, and we have one more game to go. That's meaningless, but for all intents and purposes, this season's over, and a lot of us are already looking at the off season and what Chip's got up his sleeve, which I don't trust him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Just to talk about Bradford a little further. 37 of 56, 380 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. You look at the stat line, you think it's great and all. I'll throw this at you because, you look at the stats, they look great and all. But I thought Sam was 10 times better in the Patriots game. And he threw for like 100 yards in that game. So that just shows you guys, stats mean nothing. Nothing. So don't even look at them.
Well, in that Patriots game, we also had 3 non-offensive touchdowns, so Sam wasn't asked to do that much. Now, in this game, Sam was pretty much asked to do everything. We had to abandon the run game. We were down by so much, and we just, Zach Ertz had like 12 or 13 balls he caught, and that's all we got. Aguilar was not special. Neither was any of our other receivers. Ertz was our best receiver. and his Ertz's stats could have been even more glamorous if he had that 60-yard touchdown was wide open. But the fact is, Sam does need help. Yeah, he wasn't great, but he does need help on this in the skill positions, especially wide receiver, because we just don't we don't have the horses there. And the offensive line was abysmal. I haven't seen this many in week 16 of the NFL season. You cannot have so many false start and holding penalties. I mean, it's just undisciplined football. It looked like I said earlier, it looked like a preseason game. It's unacceptable, and we deserve to be 6-9. We deserve to be at home with popcorn watching the playoffs, and not our team.
The Redskins are going to the playoffs.
I said this like 6 weeks ago. I'm like, watch this happen to you. I said it, and you're like, and we both kind of laughed at it. I was like half serious, less than half serious, but look what happened.
I didn't think like an 8-8 team, like midway through the season, was going to win this division. I was just like, well, the best they can do is like 8-8, and well, they might go 9-7. But yeah, you were right, dude. You were spot on, and I was just like, nah, man, it ain't happening. Oh, dude. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I just to comment on Zach Ertz, because like people were saying, well, 13 catches, 122 yards. I don't care what he did. I don't care. He dropped the football when it mattered. Well, he fumbled the ball, and all those catches were like 5-yard hitches. So it wasn't really that big of a deal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he didn't have. The numbers were great, but he didn't have. Obviously, he had the fumble, and the one pass was overthrown. But yeah, stats mean nothing, right?
Mean nothing. They mean nothing.
All that matters is the W, and we didn't get it. We didn't deserve it. Chalk up our 9th loss. Hopefully, we get a 10th loss. I'd rather get a top. We would look like we'll be like the 12th pick if we go 6-10, give or take. But if we go 7-9, that's going to be the 15th, 16th, or something pick. I didn't look at exactly all the scenarios, but give or take, if we're 6-10, we should be in the top 12, give or take.
Yeah, I believe if I read this correctly, the best they can do is 8th. And the worst they can do is 17th. That's a pretty drastic difference there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so I was in that range, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I believe that's right. So, all right. I did just want to talk a little further about Billy Davis because if last year, the end of last year, the end of this year, we're kind of seeing the same thing in terms of Billy not being able to adjust back. So last year, he never adjusted, never tinkered with the cornerbacks, continued to leave Kerry Williams and Bradley Fletcher on an island week after week after week. Well, the thing that we saw this year, after Jordan Hicks got hurt, teams have been exposing our inside linebackers, putting running backs on them, putting tight ends on them. And they're doing a lot of this in the red zone. And we've been getting shredded like Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So he hasn't been able to adjust back once again. And, what's resulted has been 38-plus points in 4 of the last 6 games, as you mentioned.
Oh, I'll be ecstatic when we say bye to Billy Davis. Man. And that Jordan Hicks injury, who would have thought that a rookie going down, we would think, oh, whatever. But the impact that he obviously had, within his second week of starting, they gave him the headphones. They gave him the headset and his helmet. He was calling, he had the ears to the sideline on defense. And it's great for our future. It just sucks that he got hurt. And I guarantee you, I'm very sure that we would not have lost some of these games if Jordan Hicks wasn't was in there because that's how bad the Kikos have looked and how old D'Amico Ryans looks. And Kendricks has been very mediocre. And this was an area that we thought was a strength going into the year. And, it's just our defense really melted down the stretch. We've regressed every year, playoff appearance to missing the playoffs to a losing record now. And, the pressure's on. Chip has to make moves. He has a lot of holes to fill. I think the first move, you mentioned Billy Davis, I think he's gone. Bring in a smart defensive coach with a better resume than the best defense you coached was in like the top 25. Oh, big deal. Like Billy Davis never had a good rap sheet, so that's first and foremost. And yeah, a lot of holes to fill on this team, but yeah, first move, I think Billy Davis is gone. He's just not cutting it.
Yeah, I believe if this number is correct, Billy Davis has never had a defense finish in the top 15.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, I know he's always in like the 20s. Yeah, he had a 30th ranked like Niners defense one year, and I think he was where else was he? Was he with the Browns?
Oh boy, maybe Cardinals. I do it off the top of my head. I don't know.
I know the Niners were in there, and he had like a 30th ranked. This
Niners
was before the Niners. It was before the Niners defense. Before the Niners defense was good, he had like a 30th ranked Niners defense or something.
Yeah. Yeah, once they got rid of him, they got good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, but like commenting on the inside linebackers. Well, first of all, Kiko needs to take his belly shirt, go back to Laguna Beach, and go do some yoga. You have Michael Kendricks. He signs this contract during the season, and well, he hasn't looked any good. It's funny because you have the Kiko Alonso supporters and you have the Michael Kendricks supporters on Twitter. Well, guess what? They both stink. They're terrible. They were terrible this year. Are you kidding me?
And they've both been injured too. I mean, Kendricks hasn't played a full year. Neither has D'Amico. Neither has Kiko. So they all stink, and they're not good, and they're hurt.
They're terrible.
I mean,
they're terrible.
Yeah.
D'Amico's just done. Jesus. But yeah, I mean, like the Kendrick supporters. It was funny after the Lions game. They were like, "Well, Theo Riddick, he's quick and elusive, and he's really good in cover, as a receiver." Well, no. I don't know. Like, I can't explain that because Kendrick's, he coming into this year, he was one of my favorite players, and I don't know what happened this year. He was just horrendous, So sure, like I got my favorites. Like I like Chip Kelly, I like Sam Bradford, all that. But at the same time, as Jeremy, as you know, I am 100% real. I call it like I see it. So I talk shit on Sam today, and Chip Kelly, for me, he has. Oh my God, he's lost my trust a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, and he gets an F for the entire season from me. An F, a big F. I don't know if you can get worse than an F, but an E maybe, or a G or a D. But he's been terrible.
I'll give him the F minus for you. That'll really that's way below. That's below 25%. The F minus. So
I mean, you can't defend the penalties. You can't defend the drops and the continued poor game planning, and then that doesn't even get into the GM stuff. So,
oh boy, don't even get me started.
No, we're not. We're too tired and hungover from the weekend. We're not getting into it. That is for next week. Next week we will bash this entire team. How about that?
Okay.
You should love that show because you're a big Chip hater and you can just let it all out.
Yeah, I'll have to bring Mama Burton in on that one. Get her a little.
Gotta get Mama Burton in here. One of these shows. She was hilarious on Saturday night.
Have her have a couple mad elves, and she will go to town and tell you about her 50 years watching this Eagles team and how she has never seen a team like this, never seen This is my mother we're talking about. She's been a diehard Eagles fan for 50 years, and she's never seen a single coach or GM come in and do what Chip has done to this team, dismantle the team, bring in whoever he wants, and just suck. Like, just regress every year, and now we're here. And it's like, where do we go from here? I don't think we have the money to we can't completely change, as much personnel as we did last offseason, because we really changed a lot of personnel last offseason. Off the top of my head, I don't know the exact number of players we switched, but I don't think we have the money to do that this year. So a lot of it is going to have to be Chip and literally changing his scheme around. I mean, I don't know. I don't doubt he's a smart guy, but like this whole tempo thing might not be the answer. I think the whole read option thing might not be the answer. Maybe you should go get a fullback and play some West Coast offense. I don't know. Maybe that'll help the run game. Bring some offensive linemen in that can block, not get pancaked all the time. And he's gonna have to really make some drastic changes, or he's looking at finding a new job after next year. I think he's got one more year to prove himself.
Like, I understand the premise of what he was trying to do, because he completely overhauled a 10-6 team that was probably never going to win a Super Bowl, and he wanted to fit it into his mold and his model and get his players in here and all that stuff. But let's face it, guys, this team has regressed. You can say that it's a transition season. I get that it's kind of a rebuild and all that stuff. But, I mean, to not win the NFC East is a joke. I don't care if this is some transition year or some people will say that. The Redskins won this division this year, okay? The fucking Redskins.
Led by Kirk Cousins. Jay Gruden.
They won the division. It is pathetic.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see them get spanked in the first round of the playoffs. Spanked.
And that makes me even more pissed off because they might play the Vikings now. Like, at least the Vikings, if the Eagles could have gotten the 4th seed, at least that game is winnable.
That's actually true. Yeah, actually, the stunning loss by the Case Keenum-led Rams upset Seattle, and the Vikings won. Now they're tied with the Packers. Actually, they play for the NFC North. Yeah. They got flexed in Sunday Night Football. So who knows? The Packers might be in that wild card spot, and the Vikings take the division. Who knows how it's going to shake out? Seattle, I believe. I don't know how the tiebreakers work, but Atlanta's still alive. Seattle didn't clinch a playoff spot, so it's either going to be Seattle or Atlanta in that 6th seed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else is there to say? We didn't really want to talk long today. We're just not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. I have been depressed for days after this game. It's been awful. But I will say this, though. Spending time with you and your parents and, being at your neighbors and all that, as bad as the loss was, there was some fun.
Oh, yeah. It was a good crowd. My neighbors are some knowledgeable Eagles fans, and they even had a Giants fan in there. And then we taught him about Twitter, and I think he's still trying to figure it out. But we're sitting there tweeting, and he's like, "Well, what is this? So you sending this to one person? No, this is social media, pal. It's going to everybody." Oh, that was a riot, man.
Old people do not know technology or social media or any of that stuff.
He's a boob.
He's a boob.
That was so great. His own wife called this guy out. He said he's a boob for not knowing this stuff. And we used that reference. We used that the rest of the night. I mean, Sam Bradford played like a boob, and our defense were a bunch of boobs. Oh man,
just terrible, dude. Like. I knew right away that we were going to lose, just right away. Because like I knew that our offense wasn't going to be able to keep up with them. I just, you see Kirk and all the protection he was getting. I'm just like, yep, this is going to be one of those games.
You were right. You were absolutely right. There's nothing we can do about it.
Nope. Not at all.
It just shows what our defense has been recently, and it's just so easy for. I feel like it's so easy for offenses to game plan against our defense. I mean, I feel like they made it look so easy. They made it look so easy. And this is the Redskins. They're not on the road. They're a flawed team, just like us. But they looked like a Super Bowl team against the Eagles defense.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just like, I even got into arguments about the Cardinals game and how they were saying the 40-17 score was misleading. It was not misleading.
Oh, they could have had 60.
They could have had a bunch more. But we played well for a half. I'll give you that. All right? But that has been the story of the season. It's been inconsistency. We can't put two halves together. That's why the score wasn't misleading at all. God, I hate it.
And that's why we're 6-9. The epitome of mediocre. Below mediocre. Mediocre is 8.
Average or mediocre. We stink.
Yeah. Mediocre is 8-8. Mediocre is 8-8. We're beyond mediocre. I hope we go 6-10. So we, just little. Obviously a better draft pick and just icing on the cake to how much Chip sucked this year.
Chip Kelly. It's hard to defend him.
But you still love him.
No, I do. I do. I do. We'll get into that next week on when we bash him, and because here's the thing about it. I agree with like all the Chip haters, all you got like all the negativity from the Chip haters and what you say about Chip. I agree with like 99% of it. I really do. Jeremy and I have gone back and forth. We've gone at each other's throats, and we've figured out the one big reason why. Well, the disagreement is basically for one reason, and it has nothing to do with football. It's all ego related. It's all mental. It's all that stuff. I think he can get over this ego thing, and you don't think he can, and that's basically what it boils down to. Because I think he's got the Bill Belichick syndrome, and he's got to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, the proof's in the pudding and all the mistakes he has made, and like you said, you agree with those. It's just whether or not he can get over the hump and be humble, take this horrible season, really evaluate himself, and be better next year. I mean, God, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he does a great job, but I just don't. He hasn't shown me shit, so that's why I have no faith. And you're holding on to the faith with the whole Bill Belichick syndrome. He obviously came around and got out of a situation in Cleveland, and well, what happened with Bill Belichick over the past 14 years.
Yeah, and again, just to clarify, I'm not comparing the two. I'm comparing the situation and the circumstances. So, because there's just no way he's ever going to be as good as Bill Belichick. It's just not going to happen.
And Tom Brady-esque quarterback is not going to fall into our laps as an 199th overall of this year's draft. That's not going to happen. So, I would love to draft a quarterback or two in the middle rounds. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, we already, I think, are at 30 minutes. I think this is like all we wanted to do today. So, because there's more we can talk about, but quite frankly, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Fantasy football is over. I have a third place and a second place trophy waiting. That's it. It's been a disappointing year with fantasy. It's sad that football's coming to an end. I mean, at least we still have the playoffs. But Yeah, I can't believe how fast this season has gone, actually. It's pretty crazy.
Well, the one thing we do still have is our picks because I made some ground. I picked the Falcons. I picked the Jets. I am a genius. And now I am one game ahead of you.
Oh, boy. Yeah, there's some bold moves, and then I guess I had a couple more wrong because I was up 3, and now if you're up 1, that was a 4-game swing.
Yeah, I'm up. The other one was I took the States over the Jags
Oh, yeah.
in the Lions game. No, not the Lions.
Yeah, not,
Colts game. Colts game. I was thinking blue. Colts game.
not a good week for my picks. I'll have to retaliate next week and see if I can get back to a tie by the end of the year. Maybe we'll have a playoff sudden death sort of thing.
Well, we will include playoffs, so we'll probably get to the Super Bowl. And right now, I think the Cardinals are going to win the whole damn thing.
Oh, I said this to people before. That I think they're the most well-rounded team in the whole league. I think they're the best team in the league. Panthers and Patriots, I just don't. Well, if the Patriots get 100% healthy, if they get Edelman back, Amendola back, they still have a bunch of injuries on the offensive line. Lost a couple running backs, and Blunt and Deion Lewis, but when Tom Brady at the helm, you can never count them out. I see a Patriots-Cardinals Super Bowl, and that'll be a dandy.
Yeah, because I think the Patriots are overrated, but I think the AFC just kind of stinks, and I don't think anyone's going to go beat them in Foxborough. So I see that. The Panthers have kind of not been playing as well the last month or two of the season. Not the way they were. I mean, ever since the 38-0 spanking that they had, not playing as well. So yeah, there's that. All right, I guess we'll just do final thoughts now, and we'll get out of here. So shoot away.
Well, I had a great Christmas time with with my family, my girlfriend's family. It was a great holiday season, and then the weekend came, and it all went to shit after Saturday night's debacle. I'm still recovering. Another short work week. It'll be fine. New Year's Eve coming up. I just want the season to be over and get to the off season and all the changes that got to be made. I want to see what we can do.
It's funny because we didn't really do a long show today because of the whole weekend. Well, this weekend's going to be the same thing. It's going to be New Year's Eve on Thursday. Then you're going to have New Year's Day on Friday, and then Saturday night. So there will be drinking.
Yeah, next week's show will be another exhausting one, but at least it'll be fun because we get to rip Chip and this whole debacle of a team. Oh man,
maybe we'll do that Tuesday. We'll just do it Tuesday. Maybe we'll just wait an extra day, recover.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're old men now. We just our livers can't take it the way they used to in college.
It's true.
Even though you're 6'4" and massive man, your liver still can't churn it out well enough.
I know. Well, I'll survive.
You'll survive. All right. That's it for this week. A shortened version. It's still pretty long, but shortened version of the Bitterbird Show this week. Jeremy Burton, I'm Adrian Fitke. We're out of here. And, well, fuck the birds. They suck.
Drown your sorrows with alcohol, Bitterbirds fans.
Yes. Later.